Hello everyone, welcome to AI Anytime channel. So in today's video, we are going to use GPT's model to see that in how we can use these large language models to solve a problem. Okay, so we'll be writing a program with help of GPT-3 or GPT 3.5, to generate README from the code file. Okay, so it will be a very fun project. Okay, very few lines of code. Will be using OpenAI APIs, to build this application in Streamlit. Okay, we'll also be using ChatGPT. Okay, we'll be taking help of ChatGPT. We'll be interacting with ChatGPT to, you know, to get some help that how we can build this application in Streamlit with GPT-3 or 3.5, to generate readmes from the code file. Okay, so lately ChatGPT has been revolutionary in the community. People have been talking about it. There have been abundance of LinkedIn posts or people talking about it on Twitter or in any other social media, right? And it's incredible the way that large language models are kind of creating this tsunami of solutions that people are building across industries with help of this GPT's models or any other large language models. Okay, so uh, for ChatGPT, people have their own opinion. If you see, many of them are dazzled by ChatGPT, and few of them in industry they kind of also are. I'll not say they are criticizing it, but they do not have the same opinion, and it makes sense. So I was just reading somewhere that Meta's chief AI scientist, he was talking about that this is particularly not innovative. There is nothing revolutionary about ChatGPT. And I'm talking about Jan LeCun, who is the chief AI scientist at Meta. So I was reading his interviews the other day that he says that there's no a particular innovation that has happened in ChatGPT. Okay, and he can have his own opinion, but that's incredible. The credit goes to OpenAI team and researchers who has developed this incredible, uh, I'll say interactive uh, bot ChatGPT. Uh, and so today what we will do, we'll be using OpenAI APIs. You can see I am currently on uh, OpenAI website, and I am on my dashboard where you can see that there's something called API keys. So I've created an API and I'll be using GPT 3.5. So I'll be using the most capable model by OpenAI so far, which is Vinci 3. Okay, so Vinci 3 is the most capable large language model available right now. Okay, which has been built on something called Instruct GPT. Okay, which uses reinforcement learning, also combined with the human feedback. Okay, it's very powerful. So we'll be using DaVinci 3, to build this README generator. So you upload a code file that can be a Py file or any other language like JS or any other programming languages that you have. So you have your code file, you upload the code file into the app, and it will generate the READMEs. It will go through your entire code structure. It will find out that what can be relevant instructions to run that file. So basically we use readmes in our code documentation, or when we are pushing our code on GitHub or any other Git version control or any other applications where we are application code base, where we are going to push this or deploy this code. Okay, or even we are sharing it to our teammates. Readme is very important. Okay, so it's kind of a documentation for your code base or the code structure that you have. So we'll be using this API to do this. So what I'm going to, so let's first interact with ChatGPT. Okay, and we'll ask that if ChatGPT can help us with some approach that how we can build this application in Streamlit with help of DaVinci 3, which is GPT 3.5 also. People are calling it, right? Released in last few months. So what I'll do, I'll say work on a project where I want to use GPT to want to use GPT to create an application which will generate a readme from the code base or the file or the code file. Can you suggest some way to achieve this task in 5 steps? So let me just correct this. I would need to use Python, which are language. So you can see over here, right? I am on ChatGPT, and I'm asking that, I'm looking to work on a project where I want to use GPT to create an application which will generate a readme from the code base or the code file. Can you suggest some way to achieve this task in 5 steps? And I would like to use Python as a language. I have seen different people writing different kind of prompt, or they're asking questions when they're interacting with ChatGPT. Prompt engineering is also an art. Okay, when you want to get the best of the results from ChatGPT, you have to do the prompt engineering in a better way. You cannot just go and say, okay, I want a readme generator, suggest me the code. It will not give you the best answer there. Okay, so you have to help ChatGPT understand in a detail that what you really want to do with that code that you want from ChatGPT. If you are looking for some code, or you are looking for some recommendation or approaches that you need to build any application. Okay, so have a look at prompt engineering. In the description I can share some documents where people have posted on the on social media that they have been doing different. They're using ChatGPT and they are doing this prompt engineering in a better way when compared to other people who are not getting the result that they should get from ChatGPT. So let's see what it does. So by the way, I am using the free version of ChatGPT. I hope you guys are aware that ChatGPT, OpenAI is now releasing the paid version of it, which will be $42 per month, and they have some features. There are some differentiators when it comes to the free version and the paid version. So in the paid version, the result will be faster, and in the slow version, it depends on the capacity and scaling. Sometimes you will see that it says the server is busy or you are not able to access ChatGPT, and that will basically happen in the free version. So right now I'm currently using free version. I would not like to pay $42. Okay, but if you are addicted to ChatGPT, you might pay that. Okay, and that's a revenue stream for OpenAI, right? One of the revenue stream. So you can see I have asked this question that I am looking to work on a project where I want to use GPT to create an application which will generate a readme from the code base or the code file. Now, can you suggest some way to achieve this task in 5 steps? I would like to use Python as a language. Let's see what it says. So here are 5 steps that you can take to create an application that generates a readme from a code base using GPT and Python. So gather your code and organize it in a way that you can easily read and understand. Okay, Python libraries as PyGPT or Hugging Face transformers, fine. And code base structure and can develop a script that reads the code base and extracts relevant information. Use the script and fine tune GPT model to generate the readme. This code okay. GPT problem okay. Now let's reframe the question a bit. I think I'm not satisfied with the answer. It's again asking me to train maybe a readme generator based on the huge code bases, and I do not have that code bases, right? If you see the way GitHub Copilot has been trained with the help of the underlying model like Codex and other, right? I will not have that code base access with me. Like there are so many code bases on GitHub. That's how Microsoft or OpenAI or any other company, they train these models. Okay, GitHub Copilot or see any other Tab9 is there, code completion, Kite is there. So what I will do, I will ask, okay, I will reframe the question. I will say I would like to use OpenAI API and Vinci 003 model to take a prompt and generate a readme. Can you suggest the same? Can you suggest the right approach for this method? Let's see what it does. See, this is the problem in the free version, as I was just telling you, earlier, that it will be slow. It depends on the server, what's the load on GPT or the OpenAI server currently to generate the results. So it says yes, you can use the OpenAI API and the Vinci model to generate a README from a prompt. So it says create an account on the OpenAI website and obtain an API key. So if you see over here, I already have created an account here, and I also have an API key over here. You can see, right? I just created today, and it says install the OpenAI Python package. That we will do in bit. Write a Python script to take the prompt, send it to DaVinci, and then use the script to send the prompt. Okay, and into your application, easy to create. Okay, perfect. So this sounds good. Okay, I'll not be asking the exact code. We'll be writing the code. Okay, so let's see. Perfect. So you can see, right, the first question that I asked, it was the ChatGPT answered me a very different answer, and of course that's also a very good answer. I will say a very correct way of doing or training a machine learning model. You collect the data of your code bases, and then you have the respective readmes for that code basis, and you train a deep learning model. You can fine tune with the help of transformers or any other model that is available, and then you get the desired result when you are inferencing it, right? That's a different way of doing it, but I just want to use the same DaVinci 3 model that OpenAI has released, and I like to use that to generate readme based on the code file that we have. So now what we have to do, I'll be showing you also what I'm talking about. So we have to pass the code file as a prompt to the OpenAI completions engine, and which will be using DaVinci 3 as a backend model. Okay, so let's see that. Okay, so what I will do now, I'll get back to my project folder. I'll be creating a new folder here. I'll be calling it readme gen. That's it, and I'll be going inside it. Now what I will do, I'll open my terminal. Let's create a virtual environment. So I'll do venv.venv. I'm using an Ubuntu machine. I'm using Python 3 in Windows. You might not have to use Python 3. You can anyway use Python as a command. Okay, because as Ubuntu, I think earlier we used to have Python 2.7 as well, and that's why I'm not using the default one. So I'm using Python 3 to create a virtual environment. So you can see I have a virtual environment folder here, .venv, and now what I will do, I'll go inside it, cd venv, and I'll go inside bin. If you are on Windows, you have to go inside scripts. Okay, so I'm on Ubuntu machine. I'm going inside bin, and now what I will do, I'll do a source activate. If you are on PowerShell or Windows, you might have to do only activate or the / activate. Okay, source activate, and you can see now I am inside this. My environment has been activated. I'll do I want to go to my root directory. So cd dot, I will do a clear, and let's see. Okay. Now what I will do, I'll go inside VS Code. I'll look for code dot, and now I will be writing, some code now. We create the program. So just a moment. So we'll be needing a couple of things here. First thing that we need the API key from OpenAI. Okay, so I like to keep that API key in a JSON file. You can also keep it in. You can create a .env file as well with the help of and you can load that with the help of library called Python -.env. okay, or any other library if you think that you can use it to load env file in Python. So what I will do here, I'll first create a requirement.txt. I'll create requirement.txt. In requirement.txt, I'll be having few things, which will be Streamlit first, because we are going to use the Streamlit, to just show the results in a very minimalistic UI. So the Streamlit is a kind of a web framework which provides you it's a Python library, okay, where you can use Streamlit to showcase your AI project or model. It kind of works like a web framework. Okay, it's a when Streamlit was released in the in I think 2019 or 18, if I'm not wrong, it was treated as a Flask killer or a Django, a fast API killer. Okay, it's very powerful Streamlit. It's very helpful for people who have limited capabilities with the web technologies like JavaScript or of course HTML and CSS. Okay, so let me do Streamlit, and I'll be also using OpenAI, which is the Python library to connect with OpenAI. Okay, so I think I'll be needing these two first, and I will do a pip3 install. So excuse me, pip3 install -r requirements.txt. So requirements.txt, and I'll be installing. So let it installed. Meanwhile, I'll be creating an app.py. So app.py, and then I'll also be needing let's call it a readme generator, where I'll be writing a function separately, and I'll be importing this in the app.py file. I'll be calling it readme generator.py. And the last thing we'll be needing is what we need. Excuse me, we need secrets.json. Okay, so I'll create a file here. What happened? Yeah, secrets.json. That's it. And let's see if I got installed. You can see it's been installed. Now what I will do, I'll be creating the API key. I'll be writing the API key here, and I'll be using this JSON file in my readme generator.py file, where I'll be doing this prompt with Vinci 3. Okay, so I'll be writing in this the first. Let me define this API key, and then I'll be needing this API key. Okay, so let me take the API key from here. Okay, so I'll go back to, and I cannot take the API key from here. I have saved it. Okay, so just give me a minute. Let me take it from this. So you can see I have my API key over here. This API key, and now what I will do, I'll go to app.py, and let's first write the readme generator. Okay, so in readme generator, what I will do, I'll writing a function. So in this, let me just do this. I'll write ask, and I will take query as an input. So in this readme generator.py file, what I will be doing is that we'll write the Python code to load the API key that we have in secrets.json, and after that we'll be writing the code for interacting with OpenAI Vinci 3. Okay, we'll be using the completion and the model engine, and then we'll be giving the prompt, and we'll be getting the response. Okay, so let's see how we're going to do first. I'll be first importing. So I'll say import OpenAI. We have already installed it. Import JSON, and now what I will do, I'll say with open, and I'll be using this which is secrets.json edge, and what I'm going to read it. So what I will do, edge file f, and now I'll be writing a variable which will be json file dot json dot load. That's it. So now what we are doing, we are loading the JSON file here with where we have defined our API key, right, in this secrets.json. I hope it's spelled correctly. Secrets.json. Yes. Okay. And now what next? So we will be again having this OpenAI.api underscore key, and we'll be using JSON file, and then excuse me, which should be a list. So we have this API key, okay, which we define in the JSON file. Okay, that's it. So I think that will do. That will help us connect with the my OpenAI account that I have created, right, where I took the API key from the dashboard. Now let's do one thing. Okay, so we have query as an input. Okay, so we have to write the now let's write the response. OpenAI, excuse me, OpenAI dot completion. OpenAI dot completion, which is a class, and dot create. So let me create this method create, and in this create we'll be writing you can see some of the parameters listed over here. Okay, you can find it out, all the parameters which is inside it. So what we are going to do is we are going to first use the model engine. So there are two things that you should remember here. Okay, the first is that if you want to use the default model, okay, like DaVinci 3, ADA, QD, Babbage, or any other model which is available, you can directly use that. Now how you can use that is, now suppose for example if I want to use DaVinci 3, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to say hey text, and I'm going to say DaVinci 003, which is the model. Now suppose you have your own data. Okay, you have data of your WhatsApp chat or Instagram chat, or you have data of your organization communication or any other files data, or you have mental health data, or you have any other data. You can create that data. Okay, you can do some pre-processing, you can create the data as an input, and you can fine tune the existing model. I suppose for example if you want to fine tune DaVinci 3 on your custom data, you can go ahead and do that. Okay, and you will get the response, because if you see this model that we are using, or even ChatGPT is not connected with the internet. Okay, it has been trained till the data of 2021, I guess, and it has been used. It has been trained on the large chunks of data available on internet, Reddit, Wikipedia, Stanford, a lot of other data that are available, and of course OpenAI would have data, of course, internally, and they have used those data to train a large language model. And same goes with DaVinci 3, which has been trained on Instruct GPT with reinforcement learning with human feedback in loop, but they are not connected with internet. Now as you have your own data, some very recent data, so you can also fine tune the existing model, which is very important if you really want to build a robust solution at your workplace. The other way is you can explore other services or other platforms or tools, like there has been a recent release, Chat Sonic, which has been treated as a Chat GPT killer. Okay, this also connected with internet, and it kind of use the same GPT's principles in backend. Okay, so I'm just using the default DaVinci 3 to try this. So my engine is done. Now I'll be using this prompt. So in prompt, I hope it spelled it correctly, in query. Okay, this will be my query that I have taken this input over here, right? Prompt query, and then I'll be passing some, excuse me, prompt. Okay, I forgot to give the comma over here. Okay, so prompt, and let me see. So prompt, now we can pass some temperature or top of some penalties. Okay, so it's about creativeness, right? You need creative responses, or how original, or you can use this, you can tweak this parameter. It depends on the recommended values as well, like temperature at 0.5 or 0.7. The value is between 0 and 1. If you want to learn more about these things, you can go and explore OpenAI documentation. Okay, so temperature, then we have a lot of other parameters. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use max tokens, the tokens. So basically it's kind of a combination of character, I will say. For one token, the standard characters combination is 4. Okay, So basically it's not word. Okay, if you, in very layman terms, people get confused that okay, it's like maximum word. So it's not maximum word. Okay, you can call it as a word when, because the standard token value is one token means 4 characters. Okay, as an average. Okay, so I'll be keeping a maximum token here as 1000. If I'm not sure, but I think it's 4000 when you are using DaVinci 3 as max token value. Okay, 4000 or 4096 in between these two value. Okay, so we're using max tokens, and then we'll be also using few of the other parameters like frequency penalties and top P, and okay, I'm forgetting to give the comma here. So top P and frequency. I hope I am not making a spelling mistake here. Frequency penalty, which is 0. Let's keep it 0, and then we have presence penalty. 0.0. That's it. You can get the same thing here on, if you come on the OpenAI account, your account, you can see you have something called playground. If you come on the playground, like it's suggesting you write a tagline for an ice cream shop, right? This is a prompt basically. Now if you come on the right hand side, you can see that you have many options. You have model, like I was talking about. You have ADA, you have DaVinci 3, the most capable model. You can see the instructions right over here on the left hand side, which says the most capable model in the GPT-3 series. Okay, and it can process up to 4000 tokens per request, and blah 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 right over there. And then we have a few of the parameters like maximum length, temperature. You have stop sequences, you have space, you have slashes. You can put it over here, and a lot of other parameters when you can tune it. And you can also have view code. Now let's do one thing. Let me write. So write a tagline. Write a tagline for an innovation team. Okay, and let's see what it does. I don't know, so I'll be just doing a submit, and I'll be using DaVinci 3. We'll be having temperature at 0.7. This kind of controls the randomness of your response that you get, and I'll just be doing submit over here. Let's see what it does. You can see, right, it has returned a response which says unlock the possibilities, innovate together. Oh, sounds good, by the way. So my prompt was, I had a query which says write a tagline for an innovation team, right? And I got a response, and I am on the playground, and it's very fascinating. When you come on the playground, they have a lot of preset. You can use their default some of the activities that they have kept it over here as an example. Like there are some tasks, like if you want to summarize, you want to do a Q&A, you have some set of paragraphs or some. You can upload that paragraph here. You can generate a Q&A. You can also take the code for chatbot or classifications. You can fine tune it. So different set of tasks are here. Depends on the service that you want to use. And now, very interesting, you can also get the code from here. So basically, we're doing a post request. That's what we are doing, right? So if you see over here, we have a query. We are using the post request. And we can use the same code over here in your code application that we are using. So you can see, right, temperature, max tokens, and they're using the DaVinci 3 in completion and create. So same thing what we are doing, we're also doing here, right, the same thing. So we had this JSON here which kind of loads the env the API key, and then we are using the same code that you saw in the OpenAI dashboard, and now we'll return it. So excuse me, I'll do a return. So what I'll do return, and I'll be doing a response, return response, and that will be my choices. I need first choice, and then I need the text. Okay, let's see. So this is my readme generator.py. So we have wrote the code, okay, here you can see, and this we can use it in the app.py, right? So let me go to app.py, and here we can write. So we are going to load Streamlit. So we'll say import Streamlit as st, and then we'll be importing this readme generator as, let's call it, rg in short. That's it. So we'll be importing this function in app.py. Okay, now I'm going to use Streamlit. So what I will do, I'll say a title first. So readme generator with the help of ChatGPT, because ChatGPT is one of our co-founders, right, for this one. Okay, he hasn't acted like a co-founder, and we went to ChatGPT and we asked that how we can build it, if ChatGPT has some good approach to solve this problem where you have your code base and you can save some time to write the readme, because it takes time to write readmes, right? So if we have a boilerplate, or if we get some kind of template of boilerplate with the help of ChatGPT, okay, and that's what we got. So let's see. So we have defined the title here for our application in Streamlit. What I'm going to do, I'm going to say uploaded file, which is a variable to get the file uploaded. So st.upload file, and Streamlit documentation is very neat and clean. It's not upload file, it's file uploader. Okay, so st.file uploader, and then upload code file or something. So upload code file. Okay, file uploader. Perfect. Now I'll just write this: if uploaded file is not none, so we're checking if there's a value inside it. So not none, and then I'll be just passing this content, which is, we'll read the content. So uploaded file dot read, and then decode it, because it's a code file, right? It's code structure. Decode, and then we'll see. So this is not the best app that we are building. You can take this code and you can extend it, right, further, because this is a very it's like a fun that we are doing, a fun project that we want to see that we can use GPT principles or GPT models, to get readmes from the code base. Okay, there can be different use cases that we can solve, with the same technology, right? So content equals uploaded file dot read, and then decode. Then what I'm going to do here, I'm going to just say response, and in response we'll be using that rg that we have imported, and rg dot ask, which was my function name. If you see over here in readme generator.py, we have this function called ask. So we'll be doing rg dot ask, and we'll be writing this prompt now. So what I'm going to do, we have this content, right? So we'll be using this content. Content, I hope I am not misspelled it. Okay, content, and then we'll be giving a slash n and read. Okay, this will not be here, excuse me. Read the code, and this is a very basic prompt that I'm writing. You can tweak this prompt, read the code and generate. You can see here, generate readme.md. Let me make it big. Readme.md for it in markdown format. Perfect. And then I'll be using this. Okay, fine. So this is the prompt that I am doing here. Okay. So we have content and then read the file. Okay, response. Now let's use some method of Streamlit. Like we need the st.markdown. We need some space. So what I will do, I'll be writing the spaces, st.markdown, and let's have a subheader that we call response from GPT-3 or GPT-3, or let's just say response, subheader and st.markdown. text, we have this response, response, and st dot markdown again to close this. So what I'm going to do, yes, it has been auto completed, st dot markdown, and then st dot subheader preview. I want to see that, so preview, it's misspelled, preview, and st dot markdown response. Let's see that. So now we have completed the Streamlit part. Let's run this. So let's do a preview. So we have this Readme, we have that app.py. Let's see if it's running fine. So what I will do, I will come back here and I will do Streamlit run app.py. You can see over here, right? I have a upload code file. What I want to do, let me get, I have this dark theme. I do not want to use dark theme, I'll use this. Okay, light theme, perfect. Now let's see what happens. Let's upload browse file. I'll be uploading this app.py, the file that I have. So it is taking a little time because you have to go through the Python file and has to connect with the GPT-3, the Vinci 3 model, and it has to give the response. You can see over here, right? We have got a response, looks very good. So you see this response, image classification with Google Teachable Machine. It is the same code that we have, we have written in the previous video. If you have seen that, we use Google Teachable Machine to classify brain MRI images. So we had created an application earlier and we have uploaded this app.py and we are getting this response. So see, this is the preview in the markdown because Readmes are mostly markdown, and we have readme.md file, right? So this is the preview, image classification with Google's Teachable Machine. This project is used to classify brain MRI images as tumor or no tumor. We have this prerequisite, looks very good by the way. So Python, Keras, TensorFlow, and Streamlit. We have installation as well, that how we can install it. We also have our model defined. Oh, this is fantastic. It's also showing you the step by step how you can use the earlier code, and you can try to run it. So you have license as MIT contributing. This is perfect, right? The same readmes that we see when we upload code on GitHub or anywhere else, right? It's amazing. So let me just go back to my VS Code, okay, and I like to also upload that file. File, open file. What I will do, I'll go back to my projects. This is I want to show you the app.py file that we have uploaded over here. So this was the file that we uploaded. So you can see we have few of the imports like Keras, NumPy, and Streamlit. We have a function over here which says teachable machine classification. We are loading a model with the help of Keras. We have class names, kind of labels. We have converting it to NumPy array, and then we are resizing it, and then we are passing it to the model that we have loaded, and then we are making some prediction, and then we have the app. See how wonderfully we got the response for this app.py file that we have uploaded over here. So it says upload code file, we uploaded, and we got this response. Perfect. This is very good, right? So now just imagine if you are working as a software engineer or a tester or even data scientist. Nowadays we have to write documentation, right? We have to create readmes on top of our code base. Now you have your code bases, you upload the code bases on this kind of application, and you get a readme file. You can again download this readme, you can write a function again in Streamlit, or even you are using Flask or JavaScript or Node or whatever you are using, you can write a function to save this file or download this file and use the file as it is. Or you can also add it if you want to add couple of other steps here, manually. So this is amazing, right? So when you're using GPTs or Chat GPT, the focus would always be to solve a problem or help the end user become more creative, or reduce manual efforts and time, right, and increase the productivity. That's what should be the goal when you're using GPTs or any other technology. Technology should not be there, to do the same thing the Chat GPT does. You go on Chat GPT, okay, and you upload your, just copy the code and paste it on Chat GPT. It can also return you the same response over here, right? So what you can do, you can take this code base, or you can even just take this approach and apply the same approach to solve a different problem, right? To help the end user to become more creative, or to reduce the efforts. So this is the one way of using technology. Chat GPT, we took Chat GPT help to write this code that we wrote with the help of Streamlit. We got the approach from here, and we're using this code base from Playground, and we created this application. Okay, so there will be more content related to Chat GPTs and Chat GPT and GPTs. Okay, because there is GPT-4 also coming this year. In the next few months, you will see the release of GPT 4 as well, which will be, again, I think that will be connected with internet as well, if I'm not wrong, and that will be extremely powerful as well. Okay, so if you like this video, please like, and if you have any thoughts or feedback, please comment it, your thoughts in the comment box, and please share this channel with your friends and peers. Thank you so much.